Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your sitting on the floor co-host, Jimmy, and I'm here with
Big T, Tony B.
Yeah, and
Sleepy Dave.
Sleepy Dave.
Yeah,
I was way off. I pointed at both of them. I always point at both of them. If no one knows this for behind the scenes things, I always point at which one I want them to go first. And sometimes I've thrown them off, and like Tony starts to go, and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute," but I had my eyes closed and I was pointing at Dave, but no, I wasn't. I was pointing at like the window way up there.
So, to the window.
To the wall.
To the wall. To the wall.
To the sweat, drop down and follow because this is a censored podcast.
Please. You guys remember the Master PTA? Skeet, skeet, skeet. Where he does from the window to the wall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said skeet, skeet in the theater.
God damn.
Oh. Man.
God damn.
I saw that in 70mm.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Dave. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Look at you.
Oh, that's fun. You know, I still haven't seen The Master.
I'll watch it with you.
I think I've tried to watch it about 4 times, and I get through like the first 20 minutes, and I'm like, I fall asleep.
It's a trip. It's a trip. It's a journey.
Trip. Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's
I know. I love him so much, and that's why I want to watch it. But like, I don't know. I'm struggling.
There's literally a scene where him and Joaquin Phoenix are just yelling at each other, and it's like it's like capital A acting. It's like one of the greatest scenes ever put to film.
I love that.
It's so good. And then there's another scene where Amy Adams jerks off Philip Seymour Hoffman. You're like, yeah, that's capital A acting too.
Yep.
Doesn't Joaquin like drink paint thinner in that movie?
Yeah, I'm sure he was doing it.
Oh,
for
he
real.
definitely did it. I wouldn't put it past our boy Joaquin.
You know how method he was with that fucking I'm not here or whatever the fuck.
It was
movie.
literally right after that.
It's right after that.
Right after that.
He was deep in it.
Speaking of only getting through 20 minutes, I tried to watch what's that Beaver one?
Hundreds of beavers.
Hundreds of beavers. I tried to watch that, and after 20 minutes, I was like, "Nope, I can't do it."
It's zany.
It's
zany.
I was not on its level that night.
No,
it needed to be on its level.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was the fastest selling title in Vinegar Syndrome history.
Wow.
Oh God.
Like,
I didn't even see it on Vinegar Syndrome.
It's one of their. It's not Vinegar. It's one of the other ones.
Yeah.
So it came out. Or they put up the pre-order like yesterday, and it's sold out like 30 minutes.
Oh man!
Wow!
And then apparently there's like a wood box version on the website, and the website was down every time I looked at it because people like this movie. Everybody's rabid for this movie.
Yeah.
Like I know you've seen it. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's a trip. It's a trip.
Yeah.
It's like. When people compare it to Looney Tunes, like it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like it is fucking like I keep saying zany, but it's literally zany to the max.
Yeah. I needed I don't think it was bad. I didn't fall asleep. I just wasn't. I wasn't on the level.
No,
right.
You gotta. You find out like very very soon after it starts that it's just like you're either on board or you're not on board because it just you go down a fucking rabbit hole and it's like or a beaver hole and
a beaver dam.
Yeah.
Should one be under the influence or not under the influence?
I saw it when I was perfectly sober and I wish that I was a little
All right. Yeah. All right. I think that sets me up for the right kind of viewing experience.
It's a trip. I'm not going to lie. It's unlike anything you guys have ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I watched
that at Fantasia
last year.
Yeah. So instead of Hundreds of Beavers, do you want to talk about hundreds of movies?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. Maybe not 100 though.
That might be too much.
So how are we doing this? We're going to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll change things up a bit. Again, I want to plug that the G finally came out in its unlimited release. Best friend of the podcast, Dale Dickey.
I honestly,
hacks her heart out in that movie.
I wish I had a way to know if Dale Dickey ever listened to an episode. Since she's her best friend, that would be my most favorite thing. Like if she was just sitting there in her house and like every 2 weeks she just throws on Finger Guns with Tony, Dave, and James and just like vibes out to it, my life would be complete. I could I could sail into the West and feel nice about my life.
I guess we'll have to get her on the horn and find out.
Yeah, we got her phone number though, so we can text her.
I'm sure we could text her and find out. But
I just send her messages. I'm like, "Yo, G, what up?"
But yes, if you haven't seen that, you definitely need to see it. But beyond that, instead of doing best, meh, worst, why don't we just do a quick round of best for a couple of titles that we saw that are
out,
that are
seeable right now.
Well, one of them isn't, but it will be soon.
Close enough.
Close enough. Mr. Jimmy, I want you to tell me about Juror number 2.
I would love to tell you about Juror number 2.
Yes, please.
This one's been kind of like circling my radar for the last little while.
It was supposed to be the episode we did on Venom was supposed to be Juror number 2.
Yes, and we swapped to Venom for reasons.
Because WBD didn't put it out in enough friggin' theaters.
Yeah, exactly. So I was excited about it because it's a Clint Eastwood movie, and then also Nicholas Hoult and also your girl. What's
Toni
her name?
Collette?
Well, also Toni Collette.
Oh, Zoe Deutsch.
Yes.
Who I know Zoe Deutsch. I do.
And I was like, oh, this seems like it could be fun, like a court drama, and Clint Eastwood. I mean, that sounds fun, and also Clint Eastwood's daughter. That sounds familial.
This is Clint Eastwood's last movie,
quote unquote.
Tony, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been on his last movie for a while.
It'll be his last one with WB. That's for sure.
There we go.
That 40 plus year, like 40, 50 year relationship is done.
Yeah, we can thank Zaz.
Yeah, thanks Zazzy.
Yeah.
Let's just call him Zazzy.
Zazzy. Fuck that guy.
Good job. So Juror number 2. Quick synopsis.
Yes.
A woman is killed, and the main suspect and the one who was charged with her murder was her boyfriend. A jury is called together. Nicholas Hoult is on the jury. And
is he the titular Juror number 2?
He is. He is Juror number 2.
Imagine that.
And as the story unfolds, you find out a little bit more about Nicholas Hoult's character's connection to the case. His character is Justin Kemp. You find out about Justin Kemp's connection to this case, and you go through the full deliberation trying to either convict or prove innocent that this man is there. J.K. Simmons is also in this, which is great. Not in it enough, but he is there. It's great. I can't give too much away because I don't want to, because I think it's kind of a journey. But first of all, probably the best court procedural movie this year, because Joker sucked so much balls.
Also a WBD film.
Yes. So much better already, just in terms of the way that it's played out. It's kind of, while I was watching it felt a little bit like an updated 12 Angry Men in a way.
I was going to say, it sounds like 12 Angry Men.
It is. A lot of it deals with the jury deliberations, but obviously it's not 12 men. It's a mixed bag of jurors.
Do they put the switchblade through the table?
They do not. They do not. But it is very much like a case where, at the beginning, everyone's like guilty. And one person is holding out saying no.
Of course.
And then it's how you convince them that there's an actual innocence here. But while that's happening, because you're unpacking what Justin Kemp knows about this case at the same time, it's kind of odd because it's throwing you off. Because, with 12 Angry Men, you don't really know whether the person's innocent or guilty. That's kind of building throughout the entire movie of the evidence ends up pointing in that direction. In this case, already what actually happened pretty much within the first 30 minutes. It's said, you're pretty confident what happened. So it becomes less about that and more about what the fuck is going to happen next? Like, how is this going to resolve itself? Like, you have no idea where it's heading. And it's obviously like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's purposefully vague in the way that it throws itself off to keep it like a mystery and to keep things rolling along. But honestly, I was in for this. I saw it described as kind of like, we used to get like these kind of movies, these kind of like mid-tier budget, adult focused dramas. And it's 100% what that is. And it harkened back to that time of like, you know, mid 90s, 2000s, these style of movies where it's like, it's a specific target audience. It's not expensive to have made. And it tells a very compelling story that is just really, really well shot, written, and acted, that you're just like, yeah, this is fucking like, it's got great actors in it. It's got a good, compelling script. It's well shot because it's fucking Clint Eastwood. The man knows what he's doing.
After all this time, he should.
Yeah. And like, everyone's great in it. Toni Collette's great. Nicholas Hoult is great. Zoe Deutsch is great. She doesn't have much to do, but she's there.
I know she's pregnant.
Yes, pretty much. That's exclusively her role. But yeah, it wraps up in it's just under 2 hours. I think it's an hour and 47 minutes.
All right.
And you're on board the whole time. Like, you can't really not be. It feels like it should be more boring than it is, and it's not. It's compelling straight through. So,
well, I wanted to go see it because they only played it at the Varsity.
Yeah.
That was the only theater in Canada playing it.
Which is bananas for this kind of movie.
Yeah. Because I know it was very, very so limited that they wouldn't even report box office, even though apparently it was doing very well.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because I think audiences are kind of starved for this kind of movie. Like, studios don't do this kind of movie very much anymore. And if they do, it's like direct to streaming, usually fine, but not very good. But like, this has decent star power behind it. Like, I don't know, dads would go see this movie. Let's call it that.
I just think,
well, it's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. I just think Warner Brothers kind of like was worried, or at least Zazie was worried, because like it was Cry Macho, right? Cry Macho kind of shit the bed.
It did,
right?
And he shit the bed. It still made like $30 million, even though it came out during the pandemic.
Yeah, but
it did fine.
It did fine. So I think he just didn't want another Cry Macho, and at the expense, it's like, you don't do that to someone like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
right. Like, Clint Eastwood's not the guy you do that to.
No.
Yeah, like I have a love-hate relationship with Clint Eastwood, but like he's Hollywood royalty, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that.
He's earned his a certain level of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of the movies that he makes, it's like Clint Eastwood comes with like that kind of star
like
power.
Fucking Scorsese, just let the man do what he wants to do.
And even to that point, Scorsese's movies are very expensive.
Yes,
very expensive.
Too.
The man, I love him. I will always go to bat for him. But his budgets are very large.
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood's are not.
No,
and like
he comes in under budget, and he comes in on time.
Yeah,
no delay.
Exactly, right? Because like, he literally just like
he's too old.
He's too old for that shit.
He's
like,
gonna be in bed by 7,
right? So like, he blocks the scene, does one take, done.
There's a bunch of nighttime shots, and I was like, oh man, Clint must have been in a grumpy mood. Like, it was way past his bedtime. This was all shot by the associate director. This is a second unit.
Yeah. But like, he has such a unique way of shooting, and it's like straight to the point. He doesn't diddly daddle. He doesn't waste time. He's in and out, and like, his movies are those like mid-budget ones. Like, they don't cost a lot. They're compelling.
He did this whole movie takes place in Georgia, and it's legitimately Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fucking cheap because their tax credits are insane already. So like, this movie costs fucking Warner Brothers probably not very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, overall, even if they report that the budget was like 30 billion, I'm sure in the tax breaks or whatever, it was a lot less.
Yeah, but if they marketed it and brought it out in a decent number of theaters, it probably would have done fine.
It would have made at least its budget back, if not a little bit more.
Probably more.
But even still, I probably did make its budget back, regardless of how many theaters they put it in. because it did
some numbers.
It did some numbers.
To your point about Clint just shooting and everything, do you guys remember in American Sniper, the baby didn't work out, so he just
he was just like, fuck that, we don't have time.
There's a straight up there's obviously, because Zoe Deutsch's character's pregnant, she does give birth. It's not much of a spoiler of anything, but I was staring at the screen, I'm like, is that a fucking real baby? Did they get a real kid for this one, or is it a fucking doll again?
And like he's made a lot of movies, but to that point, American Sniper was the highest grossing movie domestically in 2014.
And nominated for Best Picture.
And was nominated for Best Picture and a slew of other things. Sully made a lot of money back. The Mule did very well. Plus all of this, he won Best Picture for $1 Million Baby. And he won Best Picture for Unforgiven. Those are two Warner Brothers movies. How many Warner Brothers movies have won Best Picture recently? Argo 10, 12 years ago? That's the last WB movie that won Best Picture.
No Love for Gran Torino?
And Gran Torino did really well too.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
he's proven that he makes money.
He's proven himself like time and time again. Like he doesn't need to prove himself. Like he's already done it.
When he strikes, like if he strikes out, he strikes out. But like most of his things are, they're fine.
Yeah,
they're fine, or they're just enjoyable. And
they're easy. They're easy breezy watches.
To James's point, we don't make these movies anymore.
No,
they just send them to streaming. But if you did, you might make some more money back as opposed to Joker Folie à Deux.
It would have been, and especially because we were considering for Venom, right? Like to have it around that time, it would have worked pretty good as counter programming of just what else was out that was like adult oriented, that wasn't horror, that wasn't Venom, that like
not much.
It would have fit that niche and like maybe convinced, I don't know, an older parent to go out and like see a movie because like, a new Clint Eastwood movie. Like it would have driven like those
that too. You just say it's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah. Like people like my parents would have gone to the movie.
Yeah.
They were like, a Clint Eastwood movie's out. Okay. Like that sounds good. Maybe we'll go to the theater. Like that kind of word of mouth would work. And Clint Eastwood is a name that carries a lot of weight in that generation. Guaranteed. Yeah. So I don't know.
Carries a lot of weight with every like up to our generation, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I'm just meaning specifically for, maybe
not Zoomers.
Yeah. Yeah. But what the fuck do they know?
Yeah, exactly. But I guess this will be a recurring thing for the next little bit. It was one of the National Board of Review's top 10 of the year.
National Film Board?
National Film Board. Film Review Board?
Film Review Board. Cool. It's
National Board of Review.
National Board of Review.
NBR.
Yeah.
It is the top. It is in the top 10 of the year.
Nice. I mean, I'm working on my list currently, and it's vying for a spot. I gotta say,
I'm excited to see it.
I really enjoyed it. If you get a chance to watch it and it's around and you want to throw it on, I would highly recommend throwing it on. Find a way, because it's worth it. It's worth kind of your time. I'm not even saying it's like a folding laundry movie, because you'll probably be watching it more than you'll be folding laundry.
Amen.
It's a good time. I liked it.
Amen.
Nice.
Mr. Tony.
So
can you tell me about A Different Man? But before you do, I want to point out that it won Best Picture at the Gothams.
Ooh.
It is in the independent top 10 independent films of the year for National Board for NBR. It was not it wasn't there, but it got nominated today at the Independent Spirit Awards for screenplay and for supporting performance.
Nice.
Who got nominated for supporting performance?
Adam Pearson.
Yeah.
And he was also nominated at the Gothams. So please tell me about A Different Man. I'm excited that somebody
my list. I need to watch it.
Finally saw this movie.
So, A Different Man. Do I need to recap it? We know what A Different Man is, right?
It's about a gentleman with a degenerative disease who gets his who doesn't like the way he's living, and he gets his new face, and he finds out that the grass might not be greener on the other side.
Yep. Simple premise. But it wasn't a simple movie. It was it was kind of like an ogre. In that it had layers.
Yeah. Like an onion.
Like an onion. Sebastian Stan.
Crushing it this year, buddy.
Believe the hype.
Yeah.
Because like his transformation just from the beginning to the beginning when he had the disease, the facial thing.
Yeah.
And then when he was normal.
Yeah.
When he
I shouldn't say
normal.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Okay. Let me take that back.
That's so heteronormative.
Yeah, I know. God damn it. I am
scum.
I'm scum.
2024.
I know.
You
Fuck.
piece of shit.
Fuck. So when his face changes,
There we go.
Just that whole like change of character and like just the way he does it, it's just a thing of beauty. Like this guy's killing it this year. Between this and The Apprentice, fuck, man, like he does not need Marvel, and I wish that he would just leave Marvel out of it, because like we're getting these complex characters from him.
Sure.
Like, and even I'll even throw Fresh in there too, right? Because like his role in Fresh, like he is unhinged in that movie too.
Yeah.
This movie wasn't what I expected it to be. I didn't know what I didn't even know what this movie was. All I knew was, you know, his face was messed up, and then
he has neurofibromatosis.
Neurofibromatosis.
Right. And he doesn't like the life that he's living, so he changes it, and then, you know, it's such a simple premise, but it's so complicated. And Dave mentioned Adam Pearson. Who has the disease in real life. Who has the disease in real life. He is absolutely like incredible.
Huh.
Like the moment he steps onto screen, like he is stealing it from like the two of them are like trying to fight for it. But I think he is the MVP of the movie, because like he has a very small role in it, but it's so impactful.
Right.
And it's just like the amount of charisma that is oozing off this guy is just like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, I want more of this guy. Why is this guy only in it for a short time? Like I want to see a I just this guy.
Sure. He's got that Riz game.
He's in another of the director's movies.
Yeah, I added that to my watch list after I finished Different Man. This movie, believe the hype.
Nice.
I want to sing its praises. It's not a perfect movie. There were some things that I didn't like about it. I did like a cameo from a certain person that I won't ruin, but there is a cameo in the movie that is perfect. And yeah, that's
my girl Renat.
You know what? I didn't really like her as much.
No,
I liked her more in Worst Person.
Well, yeah, Worst Person in the World is
yeah.
a fucking incredible piece of film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She definitely does him dirty. Does him a little dirty. But yeah, it's a
there's one scene that's unhinged, and it's like the darkest, funniest, like bleakest fucking. You're like, I can't believe this is what's happening.
You're feeling that, and that's the thing, and that's why I say it has layers and why it's so complicated, right? Because you're laughing, and then it's dark, and then it's bleak, and then you're laughing again, and then you're just
downright horrific,
and then it's downright horrific. Like there's one scene in it that would make David Cronenberg like smile with glee, like, and it was so unexpected because I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad that I finally got to see it. Everyone has been talking about this since festival season, and
well, we would have saw it at TIFF if it was there.
If it was there, but fucking thing went to New York instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Different Man is definitely a different movie. It's definitely not for everybody. But you should check it out and believe the hype for Sebastian Stan. And come Oscar time, I'm really fucking pulling for him, and I'm pulling for Adam Pearson, more so Adam Pearson, because he is the MVP of this movie.
I think Adam Pearson has a better shot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Best actor's kind of
we'll see.
rough this year.
We'll see. But to James's point about top 10, it's definitely in mine.
I'm playing with it a little bit. If it doesn't make the top 10, I feel like it would make
it's gonna be an honorable mention.
It would make a runner up for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely top tier of the year for sure.
Yeah. I'll be checking it out shortly.
Yeah, it's definitely one to watch
before the next episode. I shall be.
It's one to watch before the end.
Before the end of the year. James, before the end of the year.
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, without
I've been
question.
I encourage people on Twitter to definitely check it out online or however you can before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Believe the hype.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was a different man.
Cool. Mr. Dave, you had the privilege, honor, donut for your butt experience of watching A24's The Brutalist.
The Brutalist, yes, the movie that we couldn't escape during TIFF.
Yeah, because we talked about it and we're like, we can't slot in a 4-hour A24 movie. That's an entire fucking morning of movies gone. And then the more we were there, all I kept fucking hearing is The Brutalist is the second coming of Christ. It's the best thing that's ever been created ever. Hyperbole aside.
I wouldn't go that far, but I think they were on the right track.
Yeah.
Since we keep mentioning it.
Sure.
It was nominated at the Gothams for lead and supporting. It won Best Film and Best Actor at NYFCC, and it is nominated for Best Director at the Independent Spirits.
So tell me
about The
Brutalist.
So it's not quite 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 35 minutes.
All right.
There's a 15-minute intermission.
Yes.
God bless us.
God bless.
And it actually, I didn't believe it when I heard about it, but it's baked into the movie, and there's like a little count. There's a little clock going down, but it's like, if you guys see it, like people have been taking pictures of it and posting it online, but it's like an integral part of the movie. There's like building up to this part.
Oh,
because they need something.
Yeah.
And then the something is the intermission image. So it's basically two very different parts. So the first half is about I believe he's a Hungarian immigrant Hungarian Jewish immigrant who fled during World War II to America. It's played by Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Who's no stranger to Holocaust films, having won Best Actor for The Pianist, one of the best performances ever put to film. What was I going to say? So he is an architect. He was a big architect, and now he's a nobody in America. So he's kind of living with his cousin,
right?
I think, who's your boy, Alessandro Nivola.
Nice.
And he gets a job. They get a job because he works for a furniture company, or he owns the furniture company. He gets a job redoing somebody's library.
Oh, okay.
And he redoes it, and that somebody is Guy Pearce, who he's very wealthy. He freaks the fuck out because his kids had commissioned it and he didn't commission it, and he was furious about it. So he kicks them out and doesn't pay them. It's a piss off. Things go to hell type thing. And eventually Adrian Brody meets up with Guy Pearce again. And at this point, everybody's been singing the praises of this library. So Guy Pearce wants to commission him to do more stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And at the same time, Adrian Brody's wife is still in Europe, and he's trying to get her over. And his wife is played by Felicity Jones.
Oh, okay.
Stacked cast in this.
Very stacked cast. Very stacked cast. Alessandro Nivola is not in the whole thing.
Well, now I don't want to watch it.
Dave,
I'm the number one fan in the Alessandro Nivola fan club.
He's the president.
You're gonna be very excited for Craven.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
And then so that's basically the first half of the movie, and then the second half is what comes from that. I know a lot of people like the first half more than the second half, but I kind of like the second half better than the first half.
Interesting.
I guess I was just more in at that point. And also Felicity Jones comes in, and she's very much the heart of the film.
Right.
And she's very good. But Adrian Brody, Guy Pearce, we already know what incredible actors they are. Yeah. They're just as incredible as you imagine they are. Guy Pearce has been underrated for decades.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to see him get his fucking the recognition he deserves now. All of that to say, this movie looks amazing. just the way they shot it. I saw it on a DCP. Disappointing, I know, but we're going to go see it when it comes in 70 millimeter at the end of the month.
Nice.
But it looked incredible. Just what he's able to capture on film.
Yeah.
It's stunning. And apparently it was shot for less than $10 million and it doesn't look like it.
Wow.
Because it's just like the way he's moving the camera, the angles he's able to get. Tony's going to be like sitting there in the theater jerking off because he's going to be like, oh my God, I love everything about this.
So bring the tissues and the and the jerk cream.
I really want to see that fire, the fire scene with the it's in the trailer. It's like the ember,
sparks.
The sparks are.
It's
the
a very
embers.
short scene,
but it looks
cool.
That fucking screenshot just looks.
It looks
so
very
good.
cool. And there's
Nice.
a shot at the beginning of the movie. It's the poster with the backwards or upside down Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
And it just the way that because it's shot on a boat because he's coming into Liberty Island or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's shot on the boat. So it's literally like a POV shot of him looking up at it and the boat's moving type thing. Just the way the camera moves in this is amazing. I love the score. They have the score, like a preview bit of the score on Spotify right now. And like, it's just been running through my head. It's just, it's very much a movie where it doesn't feel all artificial. It feels real and tangible. And just the stuff that they're doing is very old school.
Yeah.
And it just the way it comes together. I don't want to, I've already like said a lot.
Yeah.
But just like the way it comes together, there's like funny bits to it. There's some really darkness. There's some real darkness to it too. There's a whole thing with heroin, which is
Oh God.
cool.
Sure.
But it's to what you were saying earlier about a movie for a mid-budget adult movie for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those movies that I think towers over others in the way that it uses cinematic language in a way we don't really use anymore.
Sure.
Like it harkens back to those days. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys got to see Vox Lux, because Vox Lux I wanted to see for a long time. I finally got to see it, and it plays along, like the format is very similar, but it's a very, very, very different movie.
Right.
Reminded me a lot of Smile too.
Okay.
But just like the format of like the grand vistas,
Right.
and like the opening credits of Vox Lux are repeated in Brutalist.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of feels like two ends of a bookend type thing.
Yeah,
because because Vox Lux came out in 2018.
Yeah.
And it's taken him this until now to make the Brutalist.
Wow.
And I know it has a lot of hype around it and a lot of hyperbole. It's not it's not a perfect film, but there's certain things about it that are just like, wow, in 2024 we're still able to make movies like this.
Yeah.
And it's an achievement, and I'm hoping it still happens, but as of right now I am set to speak to Brady Corbett, who was the director, and there's certain shots in the movie. There's one shot near the end of the movie that's a one take type thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he was able to do it.
Wow.
Because if he's shooting it on a 70 millimeter camera, I don't know how he could pull this off.
Wow.
Just the way it's moving.
Yeah.
And the angles he's getting, I don't know how he did it.
Huh.
So I'm very interested to find that out. And
Intrigued.
I'm very, very excited to see it in 70 millimeter. And I am excited for everybody to see it. We were idiots to miss it at TIFF.
Yeah.
We should have just carved out a day to see it.
Yeah, we should have.
But at the same time, if they added another screening of it,
Yes.
the screenings they had did not work because it was on the Friday morning when where I couldn't go. You guys had other things to watch. It was on the Tuesday night where we were at Megalopolis, and then it was on the Thursday night where we were at Soderbergh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had something
inconvenient timings.
It was very inconvenient timings. But if it was on at a different time, we should have carved out the time to see it. Shaw, you were right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He can have that credit.
He's gonna love when he hears this.
Yeah, probably.
I already messaged him to tell him he was right, but yes, sir, you were right.
Oh, jeez.
Now I need to find some time to see it.
Yes, Yes, you do.
Yeah.
It's
TIFF is fucking me with scheduling again.
It's in limited release at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's playing, but it is most certainly playing as a DCP and as a 70 millimeter at TIFF. So if you are going to see it, make sure
I think the Playhouse is getting it too.
Yeah,
Playhouse
but it won't be
is
70
definitely
millimeter.
getting
It won't be
No,
70
but
millimeter.
they are getting it at least for our Hamilton friends.
Yes. But if you are going to TIFF to see it, make sure you look at the title.
Yeah.
Because it specifically says 70 millimeter. If you don't buy a ticket to the one that says 70 millimeter, you're watching a DCP.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Thank you, Dave.
You're very welcome.
So I think next we just have some screeners to talk about.
We do.
But we have a little surprise for y'all. It's right now.
It's screener time. The movie's not even out yet. You cannot watch it. We'll tell you if it's any good. Screener time.
That jingle is my favorite thing in the world.
It's a good jingle.
Lives rent free in my head.
Yeah.
Great jingle.
Yeah. And just big shout outs to Super Friend and music lead writer Joshua Fumo, who's been on the podcast before, so he earns the title Super Friend, previous guest, and our jingle writer exclusive, who always takes the time to deliver the most incredible things that play before you.
We gotta get him back on the show.
We do.
He's long overdue.
He's earned a spot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, big thank you to him. But so now that it's screener time, what do we want to start with? What do we got?
Why don't we start with another film that keeps showing up on lists? Why don't we start with Flow, which was a film that was a TIFF.
Yeah.
It won Best Animated Film at the National Board of Review.
Yeah.
Where else did it show up? It showed up as a Best Animated Film at NYFCC.
Yep.
And it is definitely a front runner for a Best Animated Film nomination at the Academy Awards.
Yep. Best way to describe Flow? It's a movie about a cat, a black cat, who is dealing with a world-ending flood, and it functions also as an allegory and kind of like a little bit of a parable, but it is all centered around this one cat.
Yeah, who's just trying to survive.
Who's literally just trying to survive. And yeah, there are no humans. There were humans at some point, but there are no longer any humans. It is all animals, and they're just trying to make it in this world as it starts to flood consistently. And it's like a Noah's Ark level fucking flood.
Yeah, I think it's more than a Noah's Ark.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you follow this black cat. They make some friends along the way, some enemies along the way, and some help and things ensue. And animation style is probably the first thing I want to talk about, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, before you talk about the animation style, there's no dialogue.
Oh yeah, no, zero dialogue.
No subtitles.
Nothing.
No
There's
dialogue.
nothing to look at.
It is literally just animal sounds.
Yep. Pretty accurate animal sounds. Like, they got cat characterized perfectly.
Yeah.
That is 100% cat.
Yes. But what I was thinking the whole time was, if Disney was to make this movie, they would have had like top tier actors fucking speaking lines.
Oh yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson would have voiced the cat, and all the music would have been done by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep.
And
Kevin Hart would have been
Kevin Hart would have been the golden retriever dog.
No, I was gonna say the lemur.
The lemur, yeah. You would have been the lemur.
Yeah.
You would have been the lemur. You would have gotten someone like, I don't know, like Lawrence Fishburne as the capybara.
Every time the capybara showed up, I was like, capybara.
Cappy.
That was it.
One of the dogs would have been like, I don't know, Vin Diesel or some shit.
I was gonna say John Malkovich would have been the bird.
John Malkovich as one of the birds.
Either way, it would be a wild.
It would be a
eclectic-
bananas cast.
It would be eclectic, but I think it works beautifully
Oh man,
without.
I did not
dialogue.
miss the dialogue at all.
you don't need it.
No.
It's visual storytelling at its purest.
Yes.
It is-
So now you can speak about the animation.
So it is a pure visual storytelling, and the animation style that they kind of chose and went with, which was a little bit jarring, but I do have to say, and I want to give a shout out to the folks that gave us the screener for Flow, for uploading a legitimate on Vimeo 4K copy. I watched that thing in 4K. That was great. Like, it was just excellent to sort of upscale it all the way to that. Like, it was every other screener we get usually tops out at 1080p max. This was full blown all the way up to 4K. So I just set it to 4K and watched it on my TV, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
So just big shout outs to them for uploading it in like all resolutions possible. Thank you. Like, that's such a nice touch. The animation style itself reminded me of, did either of you play I think it was called Eco, PS2, or like Shadow of the Colossus?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. So that style, like Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, it's very much that style of animation. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously updated, rendered much better than the PS2 could render.
Rendered much better, but it did remind me of like that classic
It was that art
PS2
style.
art style.
Yeah.
Before we go on,
Yeah.
Films We Like was the company that.
Thank you,
provided us
Films
with
We
the film.
Like. I really appreciate that, because it was just nice to be able to watch that at high quality as well.
Yes.
Considering the art style and considering it's a visual story, it's great to watch it in the best way possible.
It reminded me a lot of Stray. Is that what it's called?
Stray,
The
yeah.
cat, the cat game. It
Yeah.
reminded me about that a lot. It
Yeah.
was very a flow. Like, flow is a great title for
Yeah,
it, because
absolutely.
that's the kind of vibe and flow that
Truly.
it's going with. And I think the animation, like, it's not insanely detailed.
Nope.
It's more like cell shading.
And that's where I kind of like strip it back to like a PS, like Stray, but strip it back to PS2, and you're kind of like in that. You lose some of that. Yeah, you lose some of that smoothness.
Yeah, but
a
it still
little bit
looks
stylized.
It still looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't miss the detail. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's like a little more crude in the sense of what we're used to in 2024.
Yeah, it's
when
not
we get
hyper realistic.
When we get movies like Inside Out 2.
Yeah, it's not this hyper realism or this like or a specific like Pixar animation style. It is its own animation style, and it works very well for
It
it.
looks beautiful.
It's
Like,
stunning.
you just sit there and you're just in.
Yeah. And like the story it's telling, like the animals you're kind of meeting along the way, like each have their own unique personality, and like you understand and identify with each of them like pretty easily, and can kind of pick up what's being thrown down. And my cat Mouse watched this entire movie with me. She was just sleeping beside me, and I put this movie on, and she heard the cat and just like looked up, and then just literally just was comfortable, wasn't freaking out or anything, just watched the whole movie with me, staring directly at the screen the whole time, like was transfixed. So this movie, certified cat.
Chloe kept yelling because she heard a cat,
Yeah.
and she was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Why is there another cat in the building?
Yeah.
Luna was super chill about it. She didn't really say anything. She just kind of like perked up when she heard the cat, and then she just like sat there and chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So
cat needs to stop going in the water.
Seriously.
So okay.
I had enough of that cat in water.
I gotta tell, man, this movie was wrecking me emotionally. Like, my emotions were all over the place while I was watching this. Like, every time that cat fell in the water, I was like, oh my God, no, the cat. Like, even though it didn't matter.
Yeah.
This cat survives everything.
Literally.
But I was not okay.
I was gonna say I haven't been this emotionally attached to a cat since fucking Quiet Place.
Oh. I think more than Quiet Place in this one. I was legitimately like, I was attached to that cat in Quiet Place, but I wanted to jump into the screen and protect this kitty at all costs. Like,
literally,
this kitty
like
was my
I
whole
would
world.
die for that kitty.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was just so. It it was so simple. Like there's not much to the movie. The movie is not complicated at all, other than, you know, the beaver being able to steer
Capybara
is able to sorry. Capybara is able to steer the goddamn sailboat, and the bird is able to steer.
Does it too?
Yeah, cat figures it out. Just pushes. But like, honestly,
you know
like even where they bent what could be possible for an animal to do to some extent, it was still within the realm of reality. Like
it doesn't. I wasn't saying it as a bad thing. I was saying it as like it doesn't bother you because you're so enthralled into the story. The story has you, and again, there's no dialogue.
Nope.
There's no there. You can and you know what? It doesn't even hurt the movie because like even with the animal noises, you know what's going on. You can read their body language.
Yeah, like.
It was just, I was so knocked back by this movie because I had no expectations, and I was floored by how emotionally invested I was in not only the cat, but all of the animals.
Yeah.
And like when there was another part where the dogs were barking on the one ledge, and like the bird didn't want to stop, and everyone's like looking at him, and then the cat's looking, and they're all looking, but like, yo, we need to do something, kind of thing, right? And I was like, holy shit! Yeah, like it was incredible.
Yeah, it honestly was.
It's short and sweet, and
it never doesn't overstay its welcome. You're in and out.
Yeah,
and unlike Memoir of a Snail, which I will always go to bat for because I love that movie.
Sure.
This is more family friendly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a little bit of terror in it, but it's more family friendly, and I think there's a universality to not even the message, just how they're communicating.
Yeah.
Where, to Tony's point, where you don't need the dialogue. You can just kind of figure it out.
Yeah. This is a fucking worldwide international film because it doesn't matter where you are. You can understand everything that's going on in this movie because there's no dialogue to try to interpret. It's all animals and body language, and each one is like got a defined personality and everything. Like you understand intimately what the main core group of animals is all about and what each one is kind of into.
And it's just another unique picture in 2024.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen things online where people said that it's a shitty year. We don't have the front runner for best picture, whatever the fuck. But it's like, you just have to like go like maybe one layer down.
Yeah.
And there's all of these movies that are going to be unforgettable.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about for years.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, best pictures are best pictures. And the Oscars have had some big swings and misses on what they give to best pictures. But
best picture is wide open right now. Like, it could be fucking anything.
But it doesn't matter. That aside, like, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We've gotten so many films that, like, I remember films that were absolutely not best picture winners. Like, I can't tell you how often I think about Crash. It's Zero, Academy Award winner Crash, not Cronenberg's Crash.
Yeah,
Cronenberg's Crash I think about all the time.
I was about to say, I've been thinking about it. I was thinking about it today for 10 minutes for no reason at all.
Yeah. But I think about something like Cronenberg's Crash, or I'll think about Flow way more often than anything else.
I just think it's just a really well done movie, and it deserves to be on everyone's radar.
Agree.
It's out in limited release now, and it's definitely worth your time.
Yes.
To check it out.
Yes.
So please do.
Please.
And report back to us. Bring your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know what a child's perspective is on this film, but yeah, I see how they wouldn't enjoy it. It's good.
I really, really liked it as well.
Yeah.
Tony. The Return. Another film from TIFF.
Was that one at TIFF?
It was.
Oh,
it was a world premiere at TIFF.
Couldn't make it fit?
We chose Conclave instead.
Okay, we made the better choice.
I think we did.
Not to undersell things before we get started, but
I came very close to seeing this at TIFF.
Yeah.
Very, very
you
close.
Should have.
I should have.
The other, just because I finally figured out the title, I was thinking that this was the second movie we saw this year with Flo. the second movie we saw that didn't have dialogue, that you just kind of vibe and you just kind of figure it out just by body language. Because we also saw Asriel,
Yeah.
with Samara Weaving, right?
Yeah.
Not as well done,
No.
but still the same idea of
Same idea.
vibe.
You can do it without dialogue.
Without dialogue. And
Agreed.
it's just incredible that we're able to.
Yep.
That people are putting together the cinema, using the cinematic format and the language
And just
to
dropping it out and just
convey
making
messages
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Tony, The
Sorry,
Return. You
The
were going
Return.
to go see it.
I was going to see it and I didn't.
Do you regret that decision?
After seeing The Return, I kind of didn't regret it.
Fair.
I was like, you know what, man? Yeah. It's just kind of,
So The Return.
The Return.
Ray
So,
Fiennes.
I was just about to
Go
rhyme
on.
off the synopsis.
Go for it.
So, synopsis: after 20 years away, Ulysses washes up on shore, haggard and unrecognizable, and the king has finally returned home, but much has changed in his kingdom since he left to fight in the Trojan War. So this takes place 15 years after the Trojan War.
Correct. It is based on Homer's The Odyssey.
Yep. Basically, he has gone missing.
Yeah.
And the people need a new king, and his wife needs to choose a suitor.
Yes.
And
Her son is there for some reason.
Her son is there trying to look for him, look for his father. And yeah, that's kind of the setup. And then
There's unrest in the kingdom.
There's unrest in the kingdom.
Oh, so much unrest.
So
in the
much
kingdom.
unrest, and so much walking, and so much
small pigs being slaughtered.
so much monologuing.
Oh,
And then there's a bloodbath at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's about it.
that's
Kind
about
of
it.
kind of reminded
that's
me of
about
Coriolanus.
Coriolanus.
Good analogy.
Corey,
Good
My anus on
good
your mouth.
call.
I mean,
Good callback.
Yeah, that's that was what I kept thinking. It was another monologue
Monologue-heavy movie.
Ray Fiennes movie.
Yeah.
Like Ray Fiennes just monologues for 2 hours of the movie.
he does.
He does.
Can we just point out how fucking ripped Ray Fiennes is in this
Oh,
movie?
Yeah.
dude.
Like,
when
my
that
God.
shawl comes off.
Literally, and like when he pulls out like the bow and arrow, and you see like his abs and his arms, like I'm just like, hoo-wee, like is it hot in here? Like it's a
Yeah.
little, like it's a little.
That was the still at TIFF.
Yeah.
And I almost went because of the still.
I just went that was the reason. I saw the still and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes is gonna fucking fuck some bitches up with some bows.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, he was doing some press on that and talking about it. He's like, well, I had to. I was like, wow, fuck, man, you did. Jesus Christ.
he is-
He was so vascular.
He was very
He went to
vascular.
the Hugh Jackman school of getting fucking jacked.
Yeah, eating those Skittles right before the take, so
Oh,
his
man.
fucking veins just pop out.
Jesus. Anyway, all of that to say, woof.
That was the only good part of the movie,
Yeah.
and you had to wait an hour and 40 minutes for it to come.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie. I've seen paint dry that's more interesting than
Yes.
it.
That's it's
But-
not a it's a competent movie. It's
I think it
it's
looks
shot
I
well.
think it looks good.
I agree.
And I think he is very good.
I agree.
Juliette Binoche is fine.
Yeah.
Like they don't
she's
use her
there.
very much. And I think Charlie Plummer was much better in National Anthem.
Yeah.
Which we saw.
He's wasted because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they don't really give him much to do.
Yeah.
Like it's very much the Ray Fiennes show.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
definitely.
is.
But
And-
he's very, very good in it. It's just it's
Mhm.
not as compelling as
It's
like catty
just,
bitches in Conclave.
It's
Well, yeah.
yeah, it's just boring. Like,
Yeah.
it is slow with a capital S.
Like it's another vibe movie.
I guess, but I don't know.
No,
but-
I wouldn't even
I don't
say that
know.
because
I
like
don't
how do
know.
you who
What are
is
you
this
vibing with?
Who's this movie for? Like
I guess people who like Homer's Odyssey.
Yeah,
Yeah, like-
big
like-
Greek history nerds.
like Greek history nerds. Like James, your dad's a huge history buff. Do you think he would vibe with this movie?
I don't know. He's a history buff. He's not an ancient history buff.
Like I think I would have liked it a little better if I watched it in like 2 or 3 sittings.
Maybe.
But I was
you know what?
it was
For a
stretching
movie-
my
Yeah.
It was pushing
for
the
the
limits
pace-
of my attention.
Yeah. For the pace of this movie, it's not recommended for today's mental capacity. It is too slow for it. Like you will, like if you are not in the theater and forced to kind of watch it, you will tune out of it very quickly because, like, yeah, I'm just gonna say that like home is not the setting to watch The Return.
Yes.
But again, it's a competent movie. Ray Fiennes is great in it.
I like some of the lighting. Some of the lighting is really cool with the candles.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot. Like the cinematography, like they're on location. Like I don't think many of that is sets.
No.
I think they're definitely on
somewhere
location.
in Greece.
Somewhere in Greece for sure. And it looks beautiful.
You get to see Ray Fiennes' dong.
You do,
Like,
which is nice.
And
like we always got to give a shout out for dong.
Of
We
course.
do love a dong.
Fucking guys. He's the best.
Dong.
He's the best part of the movie.
Also, this movie had a lot of Loom content, and I am here
There is
for
quite a bit of
Loom
Loom
content.
content.
And all I kept thinking of, like, I sent it to my girlfriend while I was watching. I'm like, I'm watching this movie, and like this is the fourth time a loom has come up on screen, and every time I see it I think of that one Simpsons clip where they go to the Renaissance Fair and Bart's like, oh, the Renaissance fairs are so boring, and Marge is like, oh, they're not so bad, look, they have loom, I took loom in high school. And she does like, hi Bart, I'm writing on a loom. And it's just over and over every time freaking Binoche was freaking Binoche was freaking looming. I was like, hi Bart, I'm writing on a loom, because my brain had nothing else to think about, because it's a long drawn out scene of her looming.
Yeah.
You know who I wanted more from? Marwan Kenzari, who played Hot Jafar in Aladdin.
Oh,
I thought he looked familiar. He's just
Okay.
kind of there.
Yeah.
In this
He
one.
exists
He exists.
Like he gets underutilized
severely.
But yeah, to your point, you're like, I thought I recognized him, and then I saw the credits come up. I was like, it's Hot Jafar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
he needed to be
hilarious.
used more
Yeah.
for sure.
Anyway, it's a long slog to get to the bloodbath at the end, and the bloodbath's fun, and then it just kind of ends.
I think it's another example of why Ray Fiennes is a underrated actor.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he is not like he is just always solid.
Yeah,
Always solid, and his movies are not always the greatest,
but he delivers a great performance.
He delivers a great performance.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not Tommy Cruise, but he does deliver a great performance movie after movie. But for my money, I liked Conclave a lot more.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Conclave all the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Conclave making the top 10 list of the year.
Yeah.
The Return, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much. But again, not a bad movie, just not for us.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Someone will like this movie.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's just not me.
It's not me either, but it's in being released this weekend. It's a little wider than Flow is for sure.
Yeah. Not pushing anybody to go see this. Find a way to watch Juror number 2 versus
Or Flow.
versus The Return.
Or another film that we spoke about last time in Screener Time, which was All We Imagine Is Light.
Oh yeah.
Which was in one of the top 5 international pictures for National Board of Review. It won Best International Feature at the Gothams. It won Best International Film at NYFCC. And
Nice.
it is nominated for International Feature at the Spirits.
So there you go. We give you some recommendations
Yeah,
that you can watch instead of watching The Return.
Yes.
That's that one shot up my watch list.
Yeah.
I need to get on that before the end of the year.
Yeah,
Same.
it can't be nominated for Best International Feature at the Oscars, unfortunately, but it's going to be
Yeah, because they pick something else, right?
Yeah, because India and France both pick something else.
Yeah.
But that one is worth your time to watch. I
Fair
didn't love
enough.
it as much as I loved as I liked Flow, but I do like it a lot more than The Return.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
What do we got next?
I think we should get weird.
Yeah, let's
Can
get
we get
weird.
a little weird? Tony got some weirdness for us today?
Of course I do.
Let's do it.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
So what do you got for me?
Speaking of other jingles that live rent-free in my head.
Yes. Well, the Shudder Minute is a excellent jingle.
So this is going to be a Shudder
2 minute?
2 minute because I have a double feature.
Nice.
Ooh, spooky.
So I'll go with the one that is being released in theaters this weekend.
Sure.
Limited release.
Limited release.
Sure.
And it'll end up on Shudder at some point.
Sure.
It is a movie called Get Away.
Oh, so we're giving Nick Frost another shot?
We're giving Nick Frost another shot.
All right.
Basically, simple premise. Family wants to get away. They go to this island, but this island just so happens to be inhabited by a serial killer.
Oh, fun.
Inhabited
by a serial killer.
Fun.
Best way to describe this movie is I'm not going to take credit for this because I saw it on Letterboxd and it is perfectly encapsulates.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Apparently English isn't my first language.
We know that. Your first language is Tony B.
Tony B.
Big
all
T.
day.
Big T. Tony B.
Terminator.
Fuck, I still have to say that word like softly because if I say it too fast, I fuck it up.
So
Anyways,
anyway.
back to Get Away.
Yeah.
Perfect way. National Lampoon's Vacation meets Midsommar.
Oh, all right. That's
Giddy up.
that's something.
Giddy
It
up.
is it's definitely a film.
Does somebody get burned in a bear costume?
No one gets burned in a bear costume, but
Thank goodness.
I will say
He fucking deserved it.
he did fucking deserve it. Nick Frost is absolutely incredible in this movie, and I liked the female that played his wife. I'm trying to get it for you guys right now. The way they address each other,
Yeah.
they say, Isling B.
Aisling B.
Aisling B. They address each other as mommy and daddy. So like he's like, oh, I forgot my wallet over there. He's like, come on, daddy. Like we gotta go. And he's like, oh, I'm here, mommy. And they just refer like something's up when they're referring to each other as mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
If you met Nick Frost in real life, you'd call him daddy too.
I would 100% call him daddy.
I'd call him daddy and bend over for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't bend over for him. I just
You
wouldn't do
want
it.
him bottom for
No,
for
I
Big
would
Daddy,
not.
Big Daddy Nick Frost?
He would obliterate me. Like he's a bear, man. I want to hug
I
him.
think he
I
would
wanna
be a
hug him.
gentle lover.
You want to be hugged by him.
I want to be hugged by Nick Frost.
I think we need to get him on the podcast and ask if he's a gentle lover.
He would be. He would be.
This movie's better than Black Cap.
Oh, good.
I will tell you that right now.
Good.
So we're 1 for 2.
That's
We're 1 for 2.
That's not setting the bar very high.
It's really not, but it was definitely more enjoyable than Black Cab. Nick Frost is showing more of his comedic bits.
Oh, good.
There's a bit of a twist midway through that completely throws it like fucking left field.
Oh, fun.
You're either on board for the swing or you're not on board for the swing. I would recommend it.
Cool.
I would recommend it. It's a fun watch. It's not. I wouldn't like classify it as a great movie,
Right.
but it's fun. It's amusing. It's easy breezy.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's a holiday movie apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
even better.
I'm in.
So yeah,
Giddy up.
that was Get Away.
Next.
Next up, I have a film that isn't as easy breezy. In fact, it is probably one of the bleakest things I've seen this year. It is a film called Rita.
Okay.
It hails from acclaimed director Juror Bustamante. I've butchered his name. I'm so sorry. He directed a little Guatemalan film called La Rona.
Oh, La Rona.
La Rona got a lot of acclaim when it came out, and if the
Is
Oscar
it La Llorona?
La Rona.
La Rona. La Rona.
La Rona.
Was it TIFF?
It was at TIFF.
Yeah.
It's on Criterion. If the
It's gotta
Academy
be good.
If the Academy just, recognized horror a little bit, it probably would have been nominated for Best International that year. It was on a bunch of top 10 lists. Like, this guy is the real deal, and he's back with Rita. Quick overview of Rita. It's about a little girl, a 13-year-old girl named Rita, who runs away from her abusive father.
Yep.
She is caught and thrown into a safe house. I'm quoting safe house that is run by the state, but actually it is just a house for delinquent women, delinquent girls. She falls into this group that call themselves angels.
Oh boy.
There's some mystical powers with them and everything. They basically plot an escape to get away from this home because they're abused. They're abused at the home as well. And it leads to one of the most darkest and bleakest finales I've probably seen this year.
Huh. All right.
It is not an easy watch, but it is absolutely like it hits you. It hits you hard.
Nice.
Because there's a little bit of realism to this. Yeah. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot of realism to this.
Yeah.
So it's the feel-good film of the holidays.
It's definitely the feel-good movie of the holidays for sure.
It seems like it's right up there on my next to watch list.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 1 to nocebo.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. And the symbolism, like, I'm still thinking about it because the way the movie ends, like they literally beat you over the head with it all through the movie, and you don't realize it until after. And then, like, I'm thinking about it now, I'm just like, holy shit, how did I not see that?
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
It's great. This director is something. He deserves all the acclaim that he got. I really wanted to see La Llorona before this episode just so I can compare them. But I didn't get a chance, but I did. That movie has shot up on my watch list.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you should check it out. But like, I'm giving you all of the discretion that you're gonna want to hug a teddy bear,
be in the right mindset.
Be in the right mindset. Hug your kids,
sure.
Like something, because like this, I watched it at 8 a.m. on a Monday.
Oh God!
And my whole fucking day was ruined.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's definitely a heavy watch.
Fair enough.
But
Good Lord.
It is, it's one of Shudder's better releases this year, I would say.
Dang! All right.
Yeah. And that's Rita.
Sweet. Shall we get into a main segment?
Yeah, our doubleheader main segment.
Hell yeah. Because we got 2 movies to talk about. Which one do we want to start with?
Why don't we start with the one everybody's talking about?
Moana 2.
No, we're going to speak about John M. Chu's Wicked.
Absolutely. Let's
Part 1.
Talk about this shit.
We're going to defy gravity.
Which one?
Tony, I'm already defying gravity. Get on board with
it
me.
won Best Film and Best Director at the National Board of Review, which is a choice, as well as
Yep.
the Spotlight Award for Cynthia Erivo and
that's fun.
Ariana Grande. Yes. Did I say Flow won animated at NBR?
You did.
Okay. I just want to make sure because that seems like the last thing I wrote down on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on a second. Let me call this out right now.
Yes.
Dave, you saw it in IMAX, right?
Limax.
Limax?
Yes, I did see it in Limax.
James, how did you see it?
Regular.
Okay, I saw it in regular as well. Continue.
I saw it in Scotiabank 3, if that makes any difference for you.
That's a decent theater.
It's decent.
Not the best, but it's
long.
decent. Yeah.
Really long.
It's decent.
Packed.
Yeah.
It was a Monday night, and it was sold the fuck out.
Awesome. I saw it on a Tuesday afternoon, and there was like 50% full. It was pretty full.
Yeah.
Friday night, 50% full.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I had a good crowd. The crowd was really fucking into it.
You saw it the week after release, right? Like it was a week after it'd been out.
I saw
the second Friday.
The second Friday.
Yeah. This was the first Monday, and
mine was the first Tuesday. Did you guys have anybody singing or taking fucking photos of the goddamn screen?
Nope.
Well, Melissa was singing beside me, but she was like mouthing
Okay,
it.
that's
like,
fine.
That's fine.
She was
I'm
more.
sure people were
she was
doing that,
more.
to be
she
honest,
was more.
but-
She was more doing it for my
Yeah.
entertainment.
Nothing.
Not a full blown
Not a
where you
full
can
blown-
No.
where you paid to hear Cynthia and Ariana,
Yeah,
and instead you got fucking
Yeah.
chuckles beside you.
chuckles from the Glee Club beside you.
Yeah, no,
I did not. Did you?
I did not.
No,
Okay, good.
but
Okay.
I sat on the side,
Oh, okay.
so there was no one in front of me, and if anybody was doing anything on the side, I couldn't really tell.
Yeah. We were dead center and surrounded, like it was packed house. Didn't hear anything. I only heard the actual movie itself. So
Okay, because there's a lot of scum online on Twitter and on
yeah,
TikTok
I've seen.
ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, and they've had to put out signs and stuff, which I think is funny.
That's
I mean,
hysterical.
We're
I saw
talking.
I saw the signs on X and I
Yeah.
fucking loved it.
We're talking around the movie itself. We haven't even told you what the movie's about. I don't know that we need to realistically, but
Have you seen The Wizard of Oz? Have you seen Wicked, the Broadway show?
yeah. If you haven't seen the Broadway show of Wicked, do yourself a favor and go do that. It will be back around. I think it just left Toronto recently. It will be back. I know it will.
Well, you can take me because I never saw it.
You never saw it?
Never saw
How
it.
Dave.
have you not seen this fucking musical? I've seen the fucking thing twice.
Okay, well, I saw
same.
Book of Mormon 3 times.
Well, see, you made
Yeah.
a choice there. You should have gone to see Wicked.
You need
I
to see
wish
Wicked,
I
buddy.
saw Wicked. I want to go see Wicked. We still need to buy fucking Beetlejuice tickets.
We do. So anyway, Dave, when that does come back around, I'll go with you.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine. That's fair. So we can
it's-
defy gravity together.
Yes, and hold hands through the song.
Yes.
So Wicked obviously is the sort of retconning of the Wizard of Oz that takes place before the Wizard of Oz, and deals with how the Wicked Witch of the East and the Wicked Witch of the West, and the Glinda, the Witch of the East, the Good Witch of the East.
I think she's just the good witch.
The Good Witch, whatever.
Because the Wicked Witch of the East is
Oh yeah, that's right.
Elphaba's sister.
Yeah, that's right.
Nessa.
Yeah. So they go to this is, first of all, I guess, a big ups to it being part 1 and calling it out right away, although bearing the lead on the marketing, but putting it on the title card the moment the movie starts. So at least it's not like a weird bait and switch to be continued later.
Well, Denis did it for Dune as well. So
He did. So anyway, Elphaba is green.
the Wicked Witch.
Yes. She is the Wicked Witch. This is the story of how she becomes a Wicked Witch. I
Yes.
guess. Let's call it that. That's what the entirety of Wicked will do.
Yes.
It's a full-blown musical. It follows pretty faithfully with some additional padding in order to stretch this out into 2 parts, although not much, but it does add nonsense to continue things going out.
But I think they only extended. I was trying to figure out what they added, but I don't think they
It's not much. They
added
didn't
much.
add.
They literally just like padded out
Extended.
the songs,
Yep.
right? Because like there were a couple songs that like just were like at least like 20 to 25 minutes of just like the song.
Yeah, and
Right?
added more in between leading up to the song.
Yeah.
Just extra dialogue bits, but like it wasn't like egregious. Like they weren't adding fucking full-blown storylines into
Yeah.
into
I don't know
this.
how you make a 2-hour and 40-minute show into part 1 of a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like the length of the show with the intermission is how long this movie
Part 1 is, yeah.
But it doesn't feel long.
It doesn't.
It does
doesn't.
not feel long. Like it moves.
Yeah, and so John M. Chu, coming off the heels of what, In the Heights, he did.
He did do In the Heights, yes.
And just in terms of musicals, I guess.
I
I'll go
think,
with that.
yeah, he did In the Heights. He also did Crazy Rich Asians,
Yeah,
which had Michelle Yeoh, who's
Yes.
in this again.
correct. Yeah, but go musical to musical from like In the Heights. He kind of showed his chops. I didn't love In the Heights.
No, I didn't love In the Heights either.
I thought it was fine, but I didn't love it. But I will say that
Usnavi.
Usnavi, yeah. I do really like this adaptation of Wicked so far. And I will say so far because I don't know, maybe the
Yeah,
wheels
they
are going
might
to fall off in the fucking second. I doubt it, but you never know.
They might.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this 2 hours and 40 minutes. Like to your point, David, it didn't feel like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I saw a lot online that was talking about like, oh, the CG was fucking brutal. Like it was like uncanny valley everywhere. Everything was so fake and everything. And I was like, I was watching, I'm like, am I fucking insane? Like there's a lot of real shit that they built for this. Like this is a lot of actual set work. Sure, there's CG because there has to be, but like to complain that,
where are you gonna find a flying monkey?
Yeah, like, but to complain about that are blue. But to complain about like it's so fake and ugly looking and like everything is just everyone's walking on green screens. I'm like, I don't know that you understand what you're looking at. Cause
I don't think there was green screens at all, to be perfectly honest with you. I think
they had to have been.
Well, like, but you don't notice it because like to me that was the production design was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
those sets like clearly fucking elaborate.
Agreed. That's where I was like, I was really confused when I read those reviews. I was like, and watching it, I was like, I was trying to piece it out. I was like, am I missing something? But
I think it was more because it's like, when you think of Wizard of Oz, you think of Technicolor and how fucking bright it is.
Sure.
And this is a lot more of the MCU grayness. It's not quite MCU gray, but it's not as vibrant as the Wizard of Oz.
Sure, but neither is Wicked the show.
Yes.
Like this
but I think it's also because to my point, I never saw Wicked the show. Yeah. I'm thinking Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, but even still, Wizard of Oz.
It's just a point of contention that people didn't like, but it's also like the trailers, I think, weren't as bright as the movie is.
Yeah.
Because I saw it in LiMAX, which is a great digital screen.
Yeah.
So it looked very good.
I thought it looked great.
It looked very good. And I didn't think the CGI was that bad at all. I thought it was pretty well done.
That's why it was just
especially because we're about to talk about something else that I didn't think was as well done.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked better than fine. Yeah. I think production design and costume wise, I thought it was solid. And
good. Dancing choreography.
I gotta give big ups to Ariana Grande. I didn't think she would be as good as she is here. She's Cynthia. Great. She's great. I didn't love Cynthia as much.
She doesn't have as much to do in the first half.
Until the end.
She has more to do in the second half.
I had a feeling, but like when everyone's like, Ariana Grande is amazing, I'm like, okay, come on now. But she is very, very good in this.
I mean, I kind of figured she would be. Like, I've always enjoyed when
it's the perfect role for her. Like,
but people always doubt her in terms of her acting capabilities. I'm like, bruh, have you she's been on SNL as a guest multiple times, not a musical guest, but as a guest now multiple times, and she's excellent. Like, she has acting chops, she has timing, she is dramatic and comedic.
Well, isn't she a Disney Channel star? Isn't she a Disney Channel girl?
Yeah, from all of that, like, but that lends its own lens. It's
yes, you're right.
Wow,
it's
a Disney Channel star or whatever.
Right.
Like,
and I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it too. Like, I didn't believe it.
But like, if you look at recent stuff, especially when you look at like the most recent SNL just before Wicked came out, she fucking crushes it through that episode. She's great as an actor. So yeah, nuts to the people that ever doubted Ariana coming through, because she crushed it. She was great.
I thought she was very, very good. I like Cynthia as an actress. She didn't blow me away until Defying Gravity.
But that's how it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give her some props, and I'm sure she'll nail it in the second half. Yeah. Because she nails Defying Gravity.
Oof. She fucking sends that thing.
Which, spoilers, that's where the intermission cuts in the show, and it's also where part one ends.
Correct.
And there were people in my theater who I guess didn't read the part that said part one, and they were like gasping, and they were shocked that it ended. And I was like,
my only complaint,
not like you didn't know.
My only complaint with the way that it ends is there was such a moment where like Defying Gravity ends, and it looks like they could have just snap cut to black and rolled the credits right there, and they didn't, and it bothered me. So it is like a perfect moment. You could just end it. It's literally where the curtain drop would be, but then you added this little extended bit where she's like flying out over the fucking water for no reason. Like, it's not adding anything. There's no additional content. She's just flying out over the water like it's the fucking end of a Harry Potter movie. And like then it just fades into credits, and I'm like, but you had a moment. You could have just snap cut it. Like, end it. Why
Yeah.
did you need this stupid little tale here? I'm nitpicking, but
You are nitpicking. You guys saw the show, so can you explain something to me?
sure.
Yeah.
She has green skin.
She does.
Like it's a very thinly veiled allusion to racism.
Absolutely.
Racism and otherism.
Yeah.
And all of those
all
awful,
of the isms,
awful things.
Yep.
Why did they have an issue with a woman with green skin? But they're totally cool with the talking goat teaching them magic.
Difference is the talking animals existed already before there were humans. So humans and talking animals coexisted kind of together until the wizard decided to frame them as public enemy number one to curry favor because he has no actual magic of himself. But they were kind of there at the same time. So there was no real otherness, so to speak, of that was abhorrent because it was just kind of accepted. And then you started seeing the turn, though, before Elphaba became public enemy number one, where humans were kind of like, well, the fucking nonsense that happened with the goat, like animals should remain silent or whatever the hell. So there was that element of otherness starting to happen. But the reason it wasn't as pronounced before was because talking animals just existed. They were just they were just a race, if you want, in Oz.
Okay.
But Elphaba was a one of one.
Okay.
Like was a one-off, like, here's this fucking green child. What? Like, what the fuck? Like immediately, like, yeah, just straight up, we've never seen someone like this before, and like gross.
Okay.
Like,
Because
what
I
the
was
fuck is wrong
just
with
very
you?
confused why they're like, yeah, this is totally cool. This
Yeah.
talking goat is
That's
teaching me
why.
magic. But this chick,
History.
this chick who's green, no,
No.
not having that.
So that's what it was, is because she was human and green on top of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that, because it bothered the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's why. Not that that's really well explained, I think, in the musical either. It just kind of
It's just kind of
there's like a throwaway-
there.
Yeah, and there's kind of a throwaway line in the movie where they're kind of talking about, I think it's when Elphaba kind of like is talking to the goat during that secret animal meeting. I think he kind of explains the history, but like it's kind of like if you're not fully paying attention to
It's
it,
yada yada.
you yada yada over it, and then it's there. But yeah, that's why.
Okay. I that was just something that was bothering the hell out of me.
Fair.
Not bothering the hell out of me was our boy and our Lord and Savior Jeff Goldblum as the wizard with
Perfect casting.
so much riz.
Oh yeah.
Like just
But not
Damn.
not even Jeff Goldbluming it.
no.
Like he was Jeff Goldbluming it a little bit, but very much toned down and less riffy than he usually is IRL.
yeah.
And we can say that because we met him.
Yeah, I was just about to say we can say that because we've met him.
Jeff Goldblum wafers.
Jeff Goldblum wafers. Yeah, so he's just kind of like, but he's a literal charlatan and he plays it off so well. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was great in it as well. I think Michelle Yeoh was kind of, her character was less defined. Like the drop that comes where it's like, oh, she's been in on it since the beginning was kind of, I don't know that she sold it as well as she maybe could have, but
I thought
I
she
hope
would.
nobody was going into this spoiler free.
yeah, I mean,
You've seen, buddy. If you've seen the musical, you know what you're getting involved in.
Just don't butcher the second half on me, boys.
no, I won't. But yeah, I don't know. I overall I liked it. I really
Was it
liked
what you expected? Was it the kind of like, is it the best musical since Chicago?
Well,
I think it's probably one of the best shot musicals in Chicago.
Which completely ignores West Side Story.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
no one talks about West Side Story.
even Chicago, like I'm one of those people that is just like Chicago shot wonderfully, but Chicago's not a good movie.
I like Chicago.
Okay, well you like it. I'm saying
Yeah.
I don't like it. So when
I
you
just love this in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's Chicago. It's called Chicago, but it's really Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah. No, it's it definitely surprised me. I went in with zero expectation, and I was pleasantly surprised. I had a I had a shit-eating grin on my face in those opening minutes when they're doing that huge like landscape, the flyby. And you see like the yellow brick road, and you have the Dorothy's walking and everything. Like I loved that. And then going into the room, and then having the hat with the broken glass, and they have the shot of the hat, and you see the reflection in the mirror to mimic the tornado in Kansas. Like I loved that. And even like flying out the window with the monkeys, and you've seen like a lot of it reminded me, and you guys can fucking hate me if you want, but it reminded me of Avatar with like the depth of the 3D. Like it was
Did you see it in 3D?
I saw it in 3D.
Oh, I did not.
Do it. I
Okay,
didn't.
well, lucky. I was very pissed that I had to see it in 3D because like fucking 2024, and I'm still seeing fucking movies.
It seems
in
like there's a
3D.
lot of 3D screenings of this one.
But what I'm saying is I fucking loved the 3D. They do the 3D so well, and it's so good, and especially in that with like the depth of like the monkeys with the going against the water and going through the castles and stuff. Like it was just so well done.
Sure.
I was so thrown off by it.
All I'm hearing out of your mouth right now is, hey, this movie's like The Wizard of Oz. Did you know that? Did you know it? If you didn't, here's some more references to The Wizard of Oz.
Well, the musical's like that too. Like the stage show.
It just like the way you're saying it sounds egregious. It's a little better.
It's not as egregious.
It's not as egregious.
If you want to focus on Tony's comments on the way that it was shot and the way that it felt and the way that it looked in terms of the depth of the 3D, which is never a sentence I thought was going to come out of your mouth tonight. But I love that it did. That's cool. Then it's not egregiously Wizard of Oz, but it has moments where it harkens back, but that's the whole point of Wicked. So that's
the whole point of Wicked. Yeah. And like I like maybe I'm a little biased to Wizard of Oz because like I hold Wizard of Oz on the pedestal. Like most
people do.
Well, for me, the first movie, I don't know if you guys know this, but the first movie I analyzed to the teeth in film school was Wizard of Oz.
Huh.
So I've always had that like special feeling because like Wizard of Oz was the movie that like kind of changed the way I looked at film.
Oh,
like,
fair enough.
Right. So like,
I legitimately don't remember the last time I saw The Wizard of Oz.
I can recite that movie to you.
I've never seen it.
Oh man,
come over and watch it. I got them for it.
You need to. Even though that you literally
I know everything about it.
You know everything about it. You've seen the stage play. So like
you've seen the scene where the munchkin hangs himself, right?
What? Fuck you.
It's actually a peacock. Fuck off.
No, but like this it was great. It was great. I really liked there were certain songs that I loved. Like I love Popular and I love Defying Gravity.
Of course.
And One Short Day.
Of course.
But then what was Fiero's song?
Oh, I was just humming it the other day.
Right? Whatever. I can't remember what it was.
The one where he's singing and dancing in the
trying to convince him to go to the thingy.
Yeah. Either way, his song was a new one for me because like I didn't really like it, but like that whole sequence was really well done.
Yep.
Right. Mel's been fucking pumping the goddamn soundtrack since we saw it. Like it was better than I expected it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping I'm really
Dancing
hoping,
Through Life.
Dancing Through Life. There you go. That's going to be a new personal favorite of mine. Defying Gravity was actually in my top 100 on Spotify this year.
Oh, nice.
But what I wanted to say is I'm really hoping that part 2 sticks the landing because if I remember correctly in the stage play, part 1 was significally, or like the first act 1 was significantly better than act 2. Because I feel like Act 2, there's parts that are rushed and parts that are kind of like shoehorned in there because you need to shoehorn in that for Wizard of Oz to make sense.
I think I have a feeling because they're going to stretch it out and give it extra time, it should feel better.
I'm hoping so.
The musical is front loaded. It is front heavy with songs.
definitely.
The back half has one song that it's known for. The rest of it is kind of
Well, they're adding new songs.
Yeah,
They're
that's
adding new
why, because the
songs.
back half is woefully under-songed.
Yeah. Because well, I'm not going to ruin it for Dave.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that it sticks the landing,
Same.
and I'm hoping that they're able to keep up this momentum.
Same.
But I will say I didn't expect to walk out of this movie and be like, you know what, I'm really excited for part 2.
Yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised and very happy. I don't go into musical movies with much hope, mainly because they've been letting me down for so long. Cough, cough, dear Evan Hansen, cough, cough.
West Side Story, though.
West Side Story was good. Yeah. And you know what? And I feel like, to that point, and I'll just say it quickly, I feel like people don't give West Side Story enough credit, because West Side Story is not, like, Wicked is generationally a new musical, much like Chicago. It's of the new age, whereas West Side Story is a classic musical that existed way the fuck back, was filmed way the fuck back, and then only recently updated. But I do agree, Spielberg's version aces. Anyway,
It got done dirty because of the pandemic.
that too didn't help, and weirdest cinematic experience of our lives. But anyway,
And What's His Dick? Everybody hates What's His Dick.
yeah, all of that around to say, Wicked, enjoyable. I really hope that it sticks the landing. Loved it.
Why did they call it Shiz University?
Shiz?
Really? That's the
You
best they
know
got?
it. Yeah, absolutely. Wiz was already taken.
I guess so. Bowen Yang, though.
Bone Yang, crushing
I
it.
did like
Flying
Bowen
back
Yang.
and forth to London to shoot all of his parts because he still had to fucking do SNL, and Lauren wouldn't let him take time off. Loved it.
You
He did it. He did the damn thing.
He did the damn thing.
He did it.
But yes, very surprising. I liked it a lot too.
Great. So big recommend, although I feel like if you haven't seen it by now, what the fuck are you doing? Get your ass into that seat and go watch it.
It's pretty packed quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
people have been going.
Well,
That's what I mean.
It's making
That's
fucking
what I'm saying. If you
it's
haven't
making
seen it
bank.
yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go see it.
Making bank.
Here's a question I want to propose to close this out.
Yeah.
Do we think it's going to hit $1 billion?
Crisp B?
Chris
No.
B.
No.
You think it'll like cap
you know
out
what?
before?
It might.
Yes.
It might with the re-release of the sing-along version.
Maybe.
It might. We'll see. We'll see. It
Maybe.
has some hope to get there, though.
It'll be
Moana
interesting
2
to
is,
see-
is
it'll be interesting how
obliterating
it-
life right now,
It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how it does the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. for sure.
I'm more inclined to think it'll hit $1 billion before it wins Best Picture.
Yes,
I think that's kind of a crazy. That's crazy talk.
That's
I like it. I like
that's
it a
people
lot,
not
but
understanding
Best Picture-
reality a little
but
bit.
Best Picture seems like a stretch.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Nominated for Best Picture?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. I see the I don't know what's going to win yet, but I do think it's a stretch for that one to win.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of hilarious to think of John M. Chu as Best Director, Best Director
Insane.
nominee. I think
Yeah.
that's crazy. But
Yeah.
you know,
Stranger things
have happened, and he
happened.
worked his ass off. And yeah, even if part 2 doesn't stick the landing, it's a very well done film.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So let's get into the back half of this double feature.
The not so well done film.
Yeah. Ridley Scott's back with another one. 'Cause the
Gladiator
man
2.
cannot stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2, the movie that when you finished watching Gladiator, your immediate thought was, fuck, I hope they bring out a sequel.
Right?
Well, just talk about a fucking third one now.
Yeah, I heard there was
Fuck
part
off.
third.
I want to blow my
They're gonna-
brains out.
They're gonna learn the wrong lesson to this movie.
Oh my God.
I know they tried to make Glickid happen or
Yeah.
Wikiator or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck.
Wikiator.
It's
that's
never
what-
gonna happen.
It was never going to happen. That said, the day I saw it, I watched Gladiator in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I went to see Wicked, and then I saw Gladiator 2.
What
So
a
it
day
was a
you
day.
had.
It was a day. Let me tell you.
At least it was Gladiator Wicked. Those are two very good movies. You finished your day kind of shitty, though.
I don't love the first Gladiator,
Yeah,
but after seeing Gladiator 2 in the same day, I like Gladiator 1 a little better.
I bet you do.
I was gonna say I watched because after I watched Gladiator 2, I was just like, there's some parts that don't make a little lick of sense. I think I should watch the first one. So I watched the first one after, and I watched it back to back with The Return.
Yeah. Great. What a day you had.
That was a day, let me tell you.
Did watching Gladiator make Gladiator 2 make any more sense?
No, because I'm still scratching in my head about the one plot point, and it's a pretty big fucking plot point that doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Is it the fact that they just keep cutting back to it and they're like, hey, remember Gladiator?
Yeah.
It won Best Picture.
Is it
do you remember? Hey, you remember Russell Crowe? You remember his name was Maximus?
Is it also the fact that the opening battle contained trebuchets, which weren't invented for another 600 years? No one cares about when trebuchets were in existence.
Hey, do you guys remember what happened in Gladiator? No, they do a recap during the fucking beginning credits.
Did anyone also realize that Gladiator 2 follows the exact same story structure as Gladiator?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Starts off with big battle where Romans are against something. Someone gets sold into slavery. They have to fight their way through. It's literally the same fucking movie.
I will say, since I did rewatch Gladiator, and Tony did too, it takes about 40 to 50 minutes for him to get sold into slavery. It takes all of like 10 minutes.
It's a brisk 10. And he is like on that boat heading for fucking Rome.
Yeah. But again, he's sold into slavery. He meets up with Denzel, who's Denzeling.
Oh, he's Denzeling.
Everyone's trying to be like acting Roman, and then Denzel's just being like, "Hey, I'm Denzel."
Just Denzel.
He's just Denzel.
I'm gonna Denzel in a Roman wardrobe.
Did you ever watch Hamlet?
Which
Hamlet? Was it Hamlet or Macbeth?
Macbeth.
Tragedy. No, I never watched Tragic Macbeth.
I mean, it's legitimate Shakespeare's words, but it's just Denzeling the whole time. It is a little bit off-putting.
I am not even least bit surprised.
I low-key love that we keep making verbs for different actors, and Denzeling. That's
Denzeling because it's very close to Adele Dazeem, so we got to be careful here with. But yeah, he's just Denzeling his way through life. Yeah,
and then he wants to take on the Empire again.
Yeah. He's gonna take revenge on Pedro Pascal. And I like Paul Mescal. I like him a lot. I think he's a great actor, and I think it's very interesting that we got 2 legacy sequels this year that were headlined by the stars of Normal People, which I think is very interesting. And I think he does a lot better here than Daisy Edgar Jones does in Twisters. Yeah.
But I also think that putting Denzel here kind of takes away from anything Paul Mescal's trying to do.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Like, and rewatching a Gladiator proves this, that, you know, Paul Mescal doesn't have the chops that Russell Crowe did. Crowe like commands every scene that he's in. Like, he is a bona fide leader. Yeah. Whereas Paul Mescal kind of like, he's like quiet and somber, and like he's not really like, you know, commanding.
Yeah, he tries, but also I think the film does a disservice to him too, because there's so in Gladiator 1, it's a pretty straightforward story. Like, you kind of understand the
story.
There is so much extra bullshit happening in Gladiator 2.
Well, there's too many. There's like there's competing plot lines happening all at once.
It pushes Paul Mescal to the side. Like, it pushes him off a little bit to deal with the rest of the shit that's happening.
It's the exact same problem that Beetlejuice has, where it's a legacy sequel that's come out God knows how long after the first one, and there's been so many drafts of so many screenplays. Yeah. And they finally greenlight it. Yeah. And basically they're like, hey, here's the blender. Here, we're going to throw literally everything that we're going to throw 5 or 6 drafts at it. And we're going to kind of put them together. Yeah. And it takes away from, I guess, the simplicity of the simplicity of Gladiator, which was Revenge Story. Yeah. This one is Revenge Story, but it's also
political drama.
Also
coup d'etat.
Coup.
There's so much happening, but also like refinding, I don't know, reconnecting to family. Like there's so much
lot
shit going on.
There is a lot going on.
There's so much, and like, I would have preferred if we just stuck with Denzel, because his story is the most compelling.
That's because it's Denzel.
No, but not even.
And he's making a meal out of bullshit.
He's making
Tommy.
a meal out of bullshit. I get that, but his story is so much better because it's like it's a slave that, you know, proves that he starts off a slave and then he ends up becoming like the guy,
the Emperor of Rome for all of 5.5 minutes.
All of 5 minutes, but it like his arc is just so much better than anything else in the movie.
Technically, the monkey would be the Emperor.
Yes, correct.
Correct. Oh, can I just say that after the movie, me and because I saw it with my buddies from work, all of us did just a collective. We just looked at each other and we're like, "Hail Dondus," and like the next day at work, we all looked at each other. We're like, "Hail Dondus."
Hail Dondus. I don't know. I don't have a lot to even say about this movie other than it exists, and it's not very good.
Like, it's come out since that the cinematographer said that Ridley's kind of lazy and he's just kind of like going through the motions, which I kind of agree with and kind of disagree with, because it does feel kind of slapped together.
Yeah.
And like fighting the monkeys is kind of a cool idea, and the shark part is a kind of cool, fun thing. Yeah. It looks like shit.
Yep.
Yeah, the shark bit did.
And when Tony was saying Uncanny Valley with Wicked, watching them back to back.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Very clear.
Those monkeys look like dog shit.
Looks awful
for sure,
because it does not look good.
No,
like the sharks look like absolute shit.
The sharks are barely on screen, but anytime you see them, you're like, wow.
Yeah, and like Ridley can do better.
Yeah. And those monkeys are like, what? I don't even, what planet did they pull those off of?
They're better done than the sharks were.
Agree.
And the sharks didn't have lasers on their freaking heads, which was disappointing.
Well,
but
it is what?
Like maybe it's just because
200 AD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I put my faith in Ridley Scott, which is just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Even at the best of times.
Yeah.
You just don't put your faith in him. You're rewarded. Because he does have some top tier greatness, and he does have some good films. He's a whole lot of shit too.
Yeah.
It's a whole, and I will to my dying breath, will say that Tony Scott is a better filmmaker.
We lost the Scott.
Was a better filmmaker, and he was a lot less bullshitty than Ridley is.
Yep.
But I just think there's just too much going on here. And it's just not, when Denzel's not on screen, it's very boring.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And there's too much CGI here. Like there's a lot of CGI in the first one, but it still feels like it's aged better than this will.
Yep.
This is going to look like ass next year.
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't look like ass now. And the first one still looks pretty good.
Yep.
Still looks pretty good.
First one's still fantastic.
And like Joseph Quinn done dirty. Fred Heikinger, is that his name?
Yeah.
I can't say his name right. Done dirty. What the fuck did they bring back Derek Jacobi for? The one fucking senator from the first one? What the fuck did they bother bringing him back?
Why was he walking around? I was like, this guy's still here?
Why did you bother bringing him back?
Yeah. Just to show his face every once in a while.
And like Pedro Pascal, just kind of there.
He's completely wasted, and I fucking hate his storyline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
And like speaking to the CGI, there's the one part, I'm not gonna say spoilers or anything, but like I'm just gonna say with the arrows, and like,
oh yeah, one of them just magically disappears.
Just like magically disappears.
Yeah. It folds up like a little.
Like it literally, like it just like hits the ground and then just whoop.
It's just sucked into his core.
Like
it's just.
Also, whoever played Paul Mescal's wife in the beginning, also done dirty.
Yeah.
Like, just wasted. I was compelled by their whole relationship at the beginning, and then it was just like,
I think she's the
chop
one
that
who
off at the knees.
got cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
I think. Because there's a female. Yeah, it has to have been her. Apparently she was in it more. So I assume she's in the extended cut.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because
can't wait for that.
And Connie Nielsen, come on.
Again, another storyline that just like could have just like gone.
Yeah.
And like I laughed so hard in the theater when they go into the afterlife bits. And I was like, oh, see, Ridley got his way, because like one of the sequels, I don't know if you know, was set with Maximus in the afterlife, battling through the afterlife to get back to fight people from Jesus or something.
Sure.
It's like God of War.
Yeah, it was like a God of War thing, but there was a specific part in the afterlife, and I was like, oh, but there's their part right there. And that part looked like those parts looked like shit too.
Looked better than some of the scenes in the Coliseum.
But like there was so much going on. So like, you know, there's this whole thing between Paul Mescal's character and Connie
Nielsen.
Yeah. That in one instance, in one scene, the first scene that they're together is volatile and toxic and yelling, and in the very next scene that they're together, it's like, oh yeah, no, this you're well, I don't know, whatever. You're my mom. Like, okay. Like in 1 second, it was just like all your character development didn't happen on screen, but it happened.
Well, you forgot about the Martha moment that happened.
Oh fuck.
And the trailer ruins probably the only vaguely surprising thing,
but
which you kind of pointed at, but I don't want to say it if you haven't seen the trailer, because when it finally happens in the movie, it's like because you already knew, it's like, why were we building to this?
That was literally one of the worst kept secrets in the world,
because
right?
Because like, was it gonna be?
Exactly. What the fuck else was it gonna be?
Yeah. Like, it's just stupid.
Even them revealing in the trailer, it's like, oh, okay. And then like, I didn't even need to know. You were like, oh, we greenlit Gladiator 2. I bet it's gonna be this.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
That's the only logical way you could spin off from whatever ended in Gladiator 1.
It felt with Beetlejuice 2, they brought back a lot of people.
Sure.
And it was nice to see everybody, and it was nice to see Tim Burton back in his macabre state, and it was nice to see the realism of it, and how they kind of made it feel like a sequel, even though it was stuffed to shit and everything kind of got solved very easily.
Sure.
This one, barely anyone is back. It keeps harking back to, hey, remember Russell Crowe? Hey, remember Russell Crowe? And he's better than Paul Mescal. I love Paul Mescal, but he's better than Paul Mescal. Yeah. And there's just too much happening, and it's not solved as easily as BJ2, but it just, that's the only thing I kept thinking of was, it's done so much better here than it is here.
Yeah. Here's what I want to throw to you. Speaking, since this is a legacy sequel, Top Gun Maverick, should it exist? Yes or no? I say yes. Beetlejuice. Should Beetlejuice exist? Right. Should Twisters exist?
Yes.
Yeah. Should this exist?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
This is the easiest one that I could just point to and be like, fucking chuck it in the bin. This should never have been made. It has no reason to exist. There's nothing happening in this movie that is like consequential to anything.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends at the end as well. You're just kind of like, and everyone lived happily ever. Like, it literally is an everyone lived happily ever after ending. Like, I was just like, are you
not
fucking kidding?
Not everybody.
No. But you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, la-di-da-da.
It's not even that. It's another cutback to Gladiator. Yep. Hey, remember this?
Remember how great this movie was? Fucking garbage.
I don't like Gladiator that much. This movie made me like it so much more.
Yeah. Maybe that was his point.
Maybe
Gladiator wasn't getting the love that he thought it deserved, so he made this trash pile so that you could like Gladiator again.
Like, the big battle scene at the beginning doesn't look as great as it does in the first one.
And the big battle scene isn't even that big in the first one. It is like this really contained, like they're fighting the Huns. Like, it's
and there's slow motion,
strategically
that awful 2000 slow motion bullshit.
It was the time.
Yeah.
But like, it was so confined and claustrophobic because like you're in the trees and all of that. This was at such an epic scale that you want it to be great, but fucking just
it's fine. Like he knows how to shoot.
Yeah.
He knows how to shoot epic scenes, and they still look like they should. They just don't look as good as they should. I think he did better with Napoleon, but I think this is kind of a less choppy. Like it feels more complete than Napoleon did.
I need to see Napoleon still.
Yeah,
the extended director's cut.
It's on Apple Plus.
Great.
So I kind of want to watch the extended one, but I'm also getting sick and tired of Ridley delivering the movie that he wanted to make with his fucking extended director's cuts.
True.
Like just give us the movie from the start.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Stop
don't
trying to fix it later.
You don't need to fix it after the fact. The studio chopped it up. Cool. Give up. Let it go.
Yeah.
Like I hate that everyone hated Kingdom of Heaven. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And apparently the extended cut is like one of the best movies ever made.
The extended cut was great.
But it's like,
but keep in mind, I watched the extended cut. I didn't watch the theatrical. I watched the extended.
But at the same time, you can't have this many shots. Just make the movie you want to make the first time.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Or work with a studio that wants to actually make the movie that you want to make. Like what the
stop
fuck?
Making movies that are too high budgeted.
Yeah. Scale it back. Clint Eastwood your way into retirement.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Is great.
Yeah.
And it's very scaled back. There are some like big shots in it type thing and big swings, but it's scaled back.
Yeah.
Like I still haven't seen Last Duel yet. You like that movie.
I do.
But fucking what's it called? Shit. What's the one with Lady Gaga?
Oh,
House of Gucci.
Father Son House of Gucci.
That movie sucks. And it's too long.
I like
Napoleon sucks. And it's too long.
Like a sheet.
Gladiator 2 is too long.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2, it has good moments. There's good moments to behold, but it is an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah.
I had a migraine going into Wicked that I forgot about.
Yeah.
Because I was so into Wicked. And when I was watching Gladiator, I had to keep going and fucking rubbing my head. Because I was so fucking just like, my God. Just
I was sitting there.
Fucking wrap it up, man.
Yeah, I was sitting there in the edge seat watching Gladiator 2, literally like this. Like I had my hand on my head and just kind of like trying to keep my head up of just like the fuck, man. Like
I was melting into the sea.
Needs to, like I went, first of all, I will say, just to talk about a theater experience briefly, it was a pain in the ass to find a non 3D experience of Wicked. We looked at like 4 different theaters before we found a time slot that worked where it wasn't 3D. Point 1. Point 2, I saw Gladiator at 11:30 in the morning, and I was so fucking happy that an 11:30 screening was back because it's been ages since one has existed. So just a big shout out to Cineplex for actually putting back some fucking Saturday morning, early morning screenings that I could like sneak into and just kind of enjoy with not very many people.
Yeah, there wasn't that many people when I saw it.
But even still, sitting there in the corner, legs crossed like this, hand holding my head up because I was just like, fuck this fucking movie. Like, just end.
I think the best part of that movie
was when the credits rolled.
Were the trailers for Better Man and Mission Impossible, the last Reckoning.
Yeah,
that came on before it.
Yep.
Can I just say, we went to see it, and I went with my buddy Adam. Adam is much older than us. Not much, but like he's in his 50s, and he saw the trailer for Better Man, and he literally, I shit you not, literally slapped his legs, and he's just like, okay, what the fuck, guys? He's a monkey? Like, what is going on? Like, like the whole trailer, like I feel like his brains were on the back of the wall.
Yeah.
After watching that.
Yeah.
after Gladiator ended, his brains were not on the back of the wall.
Yeah, no.
We were more fixated on the fact that Buddy made his first general his fucking monkey.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I love the monkey.
Dondus was the MVP of the movie. Was fucking Dondus.
Sure.
Sure, I'll let you have it.
Let me have it.
It's probably because it was a real monkey.
It was
Yeah.
an actual monkey, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking care. Fuck this movie.
Yeah. I put my faith in Ridley Scott, and I shouldn't have. And I'm done putting my faith in Ridley Scott.
No, he's got nothing left.
I'm done. I will always go and I'll see the movies, but I'm done putting my faith in him.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I can't
And
do
really,
it
like,
anymore.
why even bother seeing the movie? Just fucking wait for him to put out his stupid ass director's cut
It's
and
true.
watch that.
It's true.
For what it's worth, I did enjoy parts of Gladiator 2. I will admit I was foaming at the mouth for this fucking movie, and I shouldn't have, and I regret it. But you know what?
Absolutely.
So many regrets.
So many regrets. So many regrets. I actually didn't think this low of the movie coming into this show. But now that we've talked about it, I actually fucking hate it more.
You retroactively hate it more.
Retroactively hate it more. Like I had it like halfway through the movie. I had my rating. After the movie was over, I was like, okay, this is my rating. But now after talking about it, I just seriously need to rethink how I'm gonna fucking rate this movie because
Aggravating.
it's aggravating. And like I just don't understand Gladiator because after watching Gladiator, I'm still fucking confused
Yeah.
on how this came to be.
I don't know.
Like I just don't get it. Please spoil.
We'll spoil it. We'll spoil it after.
I'm sounding.
That was
it.
a
Okay.
weak sauce.
You know what, man?
fucking
My
spoiler
throat
bell.
is
It's
fucking
fine.
killing
You
me.
did
It's
fine.
like fucking almost 12.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It almost is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it almost is.
Yeah.
How did this kid come to be? When the fuck did they have sex? Did they just have sex and like they just fucked beforehand and then he was just like, nah, I'm not gonna do. I don't want to be with you. I'm gonna be the commander. Commander can't be fucking the emperor's daughter.
They don't. They allude to it that they had a relationship.
Yeah.
I knew. So that's when the kid that's. Do they even allude to like he is the bastard son of Maximus
In Gladiator?
in
No.
Gladiator?
Not quite.
No, it's always
Knowing it after
this. Now you can read into it.
you can
but
read
it's
into
not
it more, but
explicit.
it's clear that they had a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew about the romantic relationship.
They have,
but like
some,
the whole plot line surrounding the kid
Yeah.
is not well
There-
thought out.
There's this one scene where they're just like talking.
In
And
Gladiator,
in Gladiator, in
Oh,
Gladiator.
Yeah.
where
Isn't
they're
it when
just
she goes up to the fucking?
It's when he finds out. It's like just before he gets just before the emperor dies. or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They're talking outside of like the camp
Yeah.
thing, and it's basically like she's like, man, I liked when we were a thing. Like, can we go back to that? And he's like, no, I have a wife and kid now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now it is there. You're like, okay. But
It's
they
thin.
it's thin.
It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
It's
Okay.
really thin.
Because watching Gladiator 2, that was the reason why I needed to revisit the first one, because I was like, there's gotta be like, like
real
a
thin.
It's
ball
thin.
hair of information
It's thin.
that makes this make sense.
It doesn't. It's
doesn't.
real
It's
thin.
thin.
Like her carrying this torch for fucking Maximus makes no fucking sense.
It's thin.
Yeah.
It's like they make out in Gladiator,
Yeah.
but it's thin. Like they had something.
Yeah.
But they don't make it clear that he's the kid.
Yeah.
But you can kind of read into it that, yeah, okay, retroactively,
sure.
okay, I guess the pieces, I guess if you have to see the pieces are there.
Yeah.
But they had a romantic thing. They
It
did.
fucking it aggravated the shit out of me for the entirety of Gladiator 2, because I'm just like, this doesn't make
Yeah.
any fucking sense.
I just hate that they fucking what's the word? they retroactively change it where she has to ship him off immediately.
Yeah. They changed the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I thought
so
that was
stupid.
Also, Maximus's armor completely pierce proof.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fact I didn't realize. It's just Denzel wailing on this chest armor and he can't fucking pierce it. I'm like, what the fuck is it made of? Unobtainium? Like, the fuck is this?
Vibranium.
Seriously, I don't
No,
know, man.
unobtainium makes more sense.
Yeah.
Also, Denzel dies like a punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
we already rang the bell. We already rang the bell. Like, he's Denzeling and then he dies like a punk.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when his arm gets chopped off. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, it is super dumb. It looks
That was
dumb.
like the most brutal part of the movie.
That and it's like a street fight at the end of the
Yeah.
movie.
Everyone's just like standing by. He's like,
standing to
"Oh,
watch.
what's gonna happen?"
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But I love that, right? Like once it goes to shit in the Coliseum and like Denzel like takes off and then fucking Paul Mescal's just like, "Fuck this," and takes off on the horse. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh
When
shit,
his
what's
mom
gonna
just
happen?"
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dies like a bitch.
Although that scene where Denzel kills Greta, I think it was Greta, whatever, one of them, one of the brother emperors, and like then just shows up the next day with the fucking head and drops it. I was like, fuck, that's badass shit. Jesus Christ.
He was just such a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Just such a badass. And I love the scene when he's getting drunk with one of the senators and this one senator goes, it's like, "More wine." He's like, "Yeah, more wine." And the maid comes in and she's pouring the wine and then fucking Denzel's just like dancing behind her. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening?
We don't know. We don't ask questions.
No.
Except the fucking sand. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. It's all
Come on.
so here we go. I'm done talking about Gladiator 2. Let's wrap this fucking thing up. Much like the Roman emperors of the time, I'm giving this a thumb straight down. You can chop its entire head off with 2 swords.
Did you know it was actually thumbs up
Well, cool.
back in the day, like same thing, but it was thumbs up to say kill him. Thumbs down was to save him. But they
Look at
changed
that.
it.
Another historical inaccuracy.
But they
Ridley Scott has already said that he
they-
doesn't give a fuck about historical accuracies.
Noticed.
They changed it because of Siskel and Ebert. Because when Gladiator came out, Siskel and Ebert was a thing, and it was 2 thumbs up.
Right.
Right. So if they changed it to up means bad,
Sure.
right? It wouldn't work.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Anyway, I do not recommend.
Ring your bell.
Oh, yeah.
Wii U.
Still
Thanks, buddy.
weak. Still weak.
You know what, Dave? Suck my balls.
No, thank you.
Do not pass go. Do not bother seeing this movie.
Just go see Wicked.
Just go see Wicked instead. Please. Because this movie fucking sucks.
Any number of other films that we spoke about tonight.
Yeah.
Watch Gladiator.
Yeah, we've given
1.
you a proper list of films tonight that are all very, very good and should be seen before you watch Gladiator 2. And hopefully by the time you've watched all these other films that we've said, the director's extended ultimate super fun handjob edition of Gladiator 2 will be out. Then watch that to see what Ridley Scott may have intended at one point in his life. And then never talk about Gladiator 2 again.
Well, we're probably going to get Gladiator 3.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No, we will not.
All right. Well,
No.
I'll be
And if we
laughing.
do,
I'll be
this-
laughing when it's just like new green light Gladiator 3 because Gladiator 3 is making fucking money.
Gladiator 2 is
Gladiator
making money.
2.
It's going to break even. I do not think they're going to give him the money to do Gladiator 3.
Not at the prices that he charges.
Yeah, not
No.
at the prices he charges.
Clint Eastwood, though, he could make
Clint
Gladiator
Eastwood.
3.
Clint Eastwood's Gladiator 3.
Absolutely. Mid-budget. It's not a lion. It's just a stuffy of a lion.
He'll come in under budget too.
Absolutely. He'll shoot that thing in
Absolutely.
2 weeks
And you know what?
for $5 million.
You know what? It'll still look better
And
than
it'll
Gladiator 2.
Slap.
It'll look better
absolutely
than Gladiator
slap.
2 does.
Anyway, I think that's about it for this super long episode that ended up being super long, even though we tried to keep it super short.
We did try to keep this one short, but we got
carried away.
We got a little carried away. Apologies for that, but I guess Sorry Not Sorry. I love talking about movies with you two idiots. So.
Yeah, it's always a good time. So we'll wrap this one up. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We are in December, though. That means we're coming close to the end of the year, which means we get to talk about some top 10s and all of that, which is very, very exciting. But we will be back with you soon with
the penultimate episode.
The penultimate episode of 2024.
Of season 3.
Yes.
Season 3.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. Putting it to bed.
Yes, the best season yet.
The best is yet to come.
But
Also the best season yet.
Yeah,
to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Spoilers: Tony's gonna be talking about his boy Alessandro Nivola again.
Ooh,
I mean, again,
we're
not
excited.
even again. Tony gets to talk about him this time.
Yeah, this is true. You get to talk about him.
Honestly, my favorite Alessandro Nivola performance is definitely Face Off.
I was going to say it's a Face
It's
Off.
fucking Face Off.
Until you see Kraven the Hunter, and then it's going to be Kraven the Hunter. Have you seen how much they're pumping the fucking tires of this movie?
Speaking of movies that I'm foaming at the mouth for,
it's gonna be the second coming, Tony. It's the Citizen Kane.
Honestly, if it's just like fucking B movie trash, I'll be happy.
Fair enough.
You know what's funny? Russell Crowe's in that.
Russell Crowe's in that too.
Yeah.
And so is that Fred Hightower guy too.
Love it. Great.
Who we met. I can't say his name right, but we met him.
We've met him? Okay.
Nice.
I don't remember this, but I'll take your word for it.
The Finn Wolfhard movie. I mentioned this last time.
Yes.
Nice. Well, until then, I'm still Jimmy, and I'm here as always with
Big T Tony B.
And
very sleepy Dave.
And we'll catch you next time after we get some sleep.
Hildondas.